Hello everybody. Today in my weekly training video, I want to talk specifically about how to use Trello. Whether you're a freelancer or you own some other kind of business, this free tool is amazing for staying organized and keeping on track with bigger projects and when you have a lot of moving parts going on. So first I want to show you what it looks like when you first sign into Trello. You're going to see all of your cards. So as you can see, these are cards I've created. They're also cards where I've been looped in by my other clients who are managing things. And the greatest thing about Trello is that, first of all, it's free, super easy to use. So if you're worried about adding team members, that can certainly be something that's really expensive when you opt in for other more robust platforms. Now, everyone will have a different opinion on the best project management platform. Some people swear by Asana. Some people love, an internal one they've created. I've been using Trello for 5 years as a freelancer, as a project manager. I find that it's really intuitive and easy for me to understand. So what I like to do is, first of all, you're going to set up things like lists. You're going to drop cards underneath these. So if you have a client that is giving you a relatively big project, or if you're a business owner managing your own content marketing calendar or social media promotions or different tasks where you have multiple team members who are pitching in, Trello is a great tool. So as you can see, I've added a card there. Let's say that you're going to be using the tool Hootsuite to schedule things. You can add team members to the card. Since I'm the only person on this board, I can add myself. You can also tag people that you want to talk to by typing @ and then their name. You can give things a due date. You can add checklists so that as things go through the process with you or your team members, they can cross it off, and then it will show out here on the main board 1 out of 3 things has been accomplished. I also like to have mine scheduled something like this. Oops. And I like to have the cards traveling across the board. So perhaps this is what I would do once I've given the instructions on the card and assigned it to somebody on my team. Then when they complete it, they're going to move it to pending approval. That means that once a day or once per week, I need to sign in and look at all of the cards listed under pending approval, review any feedback. I might toss it back into projects in motion if there's a change that needs to be made. But ideally, everything's going to be great. And then I'm going to go in here and say, all right, I did my part. I did step 2 and step 3. Now we're going to move this to complete. You can see it's got that green button there. And then ultimately you can archive the card so that it's still searchable in your Trello mainframe, but it's not cluttering up the board. So this becomes more important the more tasks that you are adding to Trello. This is a great thing to do if you are a client managing a lot of different freelancers, or if you have a bigger project as a freelancer where you're more the project manager. For example, I managed a team of 20 writers turning in more than 400 blogs per month on the Trello platform. We used it exactly like this. Assignments would be listed in the first card after instructions. Instructions helps cut down on a lot of unnecessary emails or concerns people have. You can even put screen capture video links in there as well so that anyone on the board can go review. But we would put projects in motion, then it would move to my approval, and then we would archive it when it was complete. So you can attach different things from your computer and other places on here. And you can see too, let's say that I made the due date yesterday. It's going to show up as red to indicate that this is past due. It's a great visual when you have a number of cards on the board. You can filter cards based on who they're assigned to specifically. That is really helpful if you've got a lot of moving pieces. You can see what's due in the next month. That's really, really helpful when you want to look at things differently. So adding team members is as simple as inputting their email address here. If they're not already a member of Trello, it will invite them to here. One of the main reasons that I love working with Trello is because it is a very public board. So even though my individual team members might be filtering the board in order to only see what they want, let's unfilter, it's very public to see when something is overdue. So even if 2 people on my team are working on something separate, there's sort of a camaraderie there of, I don't want to turn things in late. I don't want to be the one holding up problems. So that helps a lot. And it's also much easier if you're the project manager or the business owner to check in once a day or once a week and see everything where you've been tagged. In order to do that, you can click on this little bell icon. You can find all of the things you've recently been tagged on there. You can also get email notifications so that you can click directly on the link in the email to be taken to Trello. The great thing about Trello, create as many boards as you want. You may use one for your general marketing purposes, your content schedule, managing your team of freelancers. You may have them for individual clients. So for example, the person who does my Facebook ads has a Trello board just for me. That's where she puts all the things I need to do in order to allow her to do her job. She stores the analytics there. So we have a very specific board just for that aspect of my social media marketing. I have a general board that I use with all of my team members, kind of for everything except the podcast. And then the podcast has so many moving parts. We've created a board specifically for the podcast itself and only invited the people who are working on some portion of the podcast to that board. So if you've never used Trello before, sign up for free. You really have nothing to lose. You will get bonus upgrades if you invite a certain number of people. So if you're building a team, you'll be able to attach more files, get custom backgrounds, and do some other cool things. But for the most part, the free version is probably going to work really well for you if you're a freelancer, if you're a project manager, if you've just started adding a couple of people to your digital team, because it's simply so easy to use. So this is why I love Trello. I hope it's something that you consider. Come on in, sign up, set up a free account. And there's also some great example Trello boards that the Trello company has put together to show you different ways of using it. And one final thing I will add too is, you can customize this as much as you want. And you can even set up something that I like to use called labels. So you can make the labels be in reference to certain things, like the different projects you're working on, or red could indicate that there's a problem and that it needs your attention. Or you can do, I've done things like, we'll make this one social media. And so if I'm scheduling social media on Hootsuite, that very easily becomes blue. Then you can kind of see what kind of different tasks you have going on at any given time. In conclusion, Trello is a great tool. I love using it. I use it for my personal business. I also use it for my clients and anytime that I'm managing a bigger project. It's really robust for the fact that it's free. So definitely worth looking into if you need something to capture all the clutter, get things out of your email inbox, and kind of have one place where you can come in and check your materials.